back to StarrSoap's channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. Today I'm going to be making some cupcake soaps. Squee! I haven't made cupcake soaps for ages and I love to make them. So come along with me and I'll show you how I make them. Today I'm going to be making regular cupcakes, where just recently I actually made those Russian ones. So I'm making my bases out of this Feijoa soap that I'm going to be making, and I'm starting off here doing the frozen lye method. I'm not sure exactly the technical term for it, but basically rather than using water and mixing that with my lye, I'm using the frozen fruit, and I've got it sitting in an ice bath, and I've broken up the frozen chunks as well, and I add the lye just a little bit at a time and mixing the whole time so that it can't burn the fruit. It just sort of like comes together and that becomes my lye. So that's what I'm doing here, and then I'm able to soap it right away. I don't have to wait for it to cool down. So this one worked out pretty good, but as you can see it did burn a little bit. It's kind of gone orangey red. I was using my goat's milk ice cubes there as my ice bath, and I think I would have been better off if I'd used water ice cubes and let them melt a little bit so that the whole entire bowl could be submerged in frozen water as well. It just really seems to help. I've done that in the past, but I'm still happy with how this worked out, and now I'm just going to go ahead and mix it up. I'm going to have to bring the stick blender in to mix out the chunks now that it's all incorporated, and make sure this lye is ready to be added to the oils. I'm going to be using a combination of berry scents. I've got blackberry crush, and another one I'm using is called lychee and black tea, and I'm also using a strawberry scent. So I'm using like a combination of berry scents, and when I added the Feijoa pulp in and then I also added those scents, it really seemed to enhance the scents. I'm not exactly sure about the science behind this, guys, but I really want to mention this to you, especially my fellow soap makers that are watching this, because you guys might have struggled like I have to get really bright fruity scents to stick in soap, and this seemed to be like a little hack of that. So by adding a little bit of fruit pulp, even though I didn't actually have berry pulp, which is what I was kind of going for, by adding the Feijoa pulp, I managed to get a really nice fruity scent, and the Feijoa seeds that are in there add as like a really nice exfoliant as well. So I really dig it, and I so super hope that my friend who ordered these will use them and not just kind of have them as a decoration, because they are really gorgeous soaps. Absolutely love them. And I'm actually going to be topping them with pink and white piping, or it's going to be actually more like a red. I'm trying to go, like, I'm doing berry and I'm doing cupcakes because that's what he requested, but he is a guy, so I'm trying to make them kind of a little bit masculine-y as well, kind of a bit unisex. So the red is like a brick red oxide, and the white is obviously titanium dioxide, and the base is this lovely Feijoa pulpy gorgeousness, which actually makes the base look a bit like real cake, like a real cupcake. So that's super nice as well. And because I did use this method of using the fruit like this, my soap has thickened up on me, and it's made it difficult to pour these bases. So that's something to bear in mind. I mean, I absolutely say go for this Feijoa idea, or like I say, any fruit pulp. Just do some tests and add different fruit scents and see if you actually get a different outcome. I'm really keen to try doing some experiments as well, like even just small test batches, one with the fruit pulp and one without, using the same fragrance, and just seeing how the final soaps turn out. But if you're going to make cupcake bases, I recommend you work with a fragrance that you know, or even leave the bases unscented and just scent the piping or something like that, because honestly the best cupcakes I've made have been the ones where I've been able to pour the bases when the soap's been nice and thin. And when it gets thick like this and I'm using these individual flimsy cupcake liners, it can be a nightmare, and I'm trying to fluff around real quickly to get all of the soap to sit in the mold properly and for it to actually work. So yeah, just to save yourself that headache, I definitely recommend using a recipe and using fragrances and things that you know aren't going to accelerate trace. It just makes your life a bit easier. When it comes time to pipe, if you know it's going to accelerate trace, stay with it, and that way you can actually put it in the piping bags and pipe it and get it all ready to go in time. So, you know, work with it. A lot of people say, oh, don't do this or avoid this. I'm kind of saying, rather than avoiding it, just know what you're doing, be aware of it, and work with that. Like, if you want your soap to thicken up for a certain project, use that fragrance, and if you want thin, don't. So that's enough of that waffle. I'm just going to go ahead now and mix up my second batch of soap for the piping and go ahead and pipe the soaps. Squee!
All natural, handmade, StarrSoaps. 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 Your skin is going to love you after you try some of my so-good handmade luxury by artisan MissCrystalStarr, made locally in the Taranaki and with all natural ingredients. Everybody needs a little bit of pampering, a little bit of luxury, a little bit of me time. So take your bar of StarrSoaps into the shower and treat yourself. Everyone needs that little bit of pick me up. StarrSoaps is really made for the star in you. StarrSoaps. All natural, handmade, 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 StarrSoaps. Your skin is going to love you after you try some of my so-good handmade luxury by artisan MissCrystalStarr, made locally in the Taranaki and with all natural ingredients. Everybody needs a little bit of pampering, a little bit of luxury, a little bit of me time. So take your bar of StarrSoaps into the shower and treat yourself. Everyone needs that little bit of pick me up. StarrSoaps is really made for the star in you. StarrSoaps. All natural, handmade, 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 StarrSoaps. Your skin is going to love you after you try some of my so-good handmade luxury by artisan MissCrystalStarr, made locally in the Taranaki and with all natural ingredients. Everybody needs a little bit of pampering, a little bit of luxury, a little bit of me time. So take your bar of StarrSoaps into the shower and treat yourself. Everyone needs that little bit of pick me up. StarrSoaps is really made for the star in you. StarrSoaps. All natural, handmade, 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 StarrSoaps. Your skin is going to love you after you try some of my so-good handmade.
So yeah, as you can see, it's quite a deep red, terracotta red, not like a pink at all. And some of it actually spilled out of the jug, and that's why some of the cupcakes there were like sitting in wet soap. So what I went ahead and did is I took every single cupcake base and I dipped the very bottom section of it into the soap while it was still thin, so that every single cupcake would all have like a red dipped base and then the piping as well. So that's a little trick for you as well if you ever have a disaster like I did, because I ended up having a bit of a disaster. The soap gremlins were definitely at my house. So now I'm just going to go ahead and load up the white soap, and I'm just using the same piping bag. So the very first little bits that I pipe will have, you know, a tinge of the red, but then they'll actually be white. And I'm really stoked at this particular piping. It's gorgeous and sort of creamy looking, and yeah, I'm all in all, I'm really happy with how these turned out. It had been a while since I made cupcakes in this way, so I was feeling a little bit rusty, and I'm really glad they worked out. It's really inspired me to want to make more cupcake soaps. They really draw people in at markets. When I'm sitting there and I have my cupcake soaps sitting in a cupcake stand, it will often be just the ticket to break the ice between me and a customer and have them ask me a question. The next thing I know, I can tell them all about my soaps and everything I do, and then hopefully make a sale. So yeah, I mean, oftentimes before I ever made cupcake soaps, people would ask me if my bar soaps were fudge and cake and things like that, and I would always sort of have to tell them, no, but it's better for your skin than cake. So yeah, having the cupcakes there, they definitely are a great way to draw people in and to get a bit of attention when you're out at markets. I do think it's important to write "do not eat" on your labels and on your packaging, especially for people gifting them. The last thing you want is for someone to open it up and take a big bite and end up with a mouthful of soap. Blah. So now I'm just going to go ahead and finish the final touches on these soap cupcakes. So I've got some teeny tiny little dollops here that I piped from leftover soap from rose geranium actually, and I'm also putting in some little scrolls to kind of look like a little straw sticking out the side, and they're just sort of rainbow coloured leftover from old soap that I ran over the beveler or the planer and got these lovely little curls. And the final touch for each cupcake is a little black star, again just trying to make them a little bit masculine or a little bit kind of unisex, even though they are cupcakes and we all know that cupcakes are pretty girly. So here we have the final soap cupcake, and I'm pretty chuffed at how they came out. I'm not glittering these ones, which was really hard. I really wanted to, but they're beautiful on their own. So here I have some photographs of the soaps. I've got the soap bases and then the piped cupcakes, and I really hope you enjoyed watching me make these as much as I enjoyed making them. I actually sort of forgot how much fun it is to pipe cupcakes, and I'm really glad that I got to revisit this because it's really inspired me to want to make more cupcakes. And if you guys have got any hints below as to like themes, for example what colors they should be or flavors, how I should adorn them at the end, please leave your suggestions below because it really does help me if I ever get into like a creative rut. I really appreciate being able to go back and read through your suggestions, so thank you. And yeah, I'm really happy at how these actually turned out in the end. I really love them. And here we have some pictures of a couple of them. They're on display at a market. So I went to a market at my daughter and son's primary school, and we had the soap cupcakes out but not for sale, just to draw people in, and it worked. So that's what I mean when I was telling you about how they do that, they draw people in. And this week I'd like to highlight the wonderful Robin Wilson and her beautiful unicorn horn bath bombs that she shared in our group StarrSoapy Family over on Facebook. I absolutely love these, they're so gorgeous, and I actually love everything you share, Robin, so please keep sharing because I love seeing all your groovy creations, girl. And if you want to see your picture highlighted in one of our StarrSoapy videos, then please go over and join the group and share your creations with us because we love to see them. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, become a member of our StarrSoapy family and feel that soapy love. Bye guys!
All natural, handmade StarrSoapy. All natural, handmade StarrSoapy. Your skin is going to love you after you try some of my soap. Handmade luxury by artisan MissCrystalStarr, made locally in the Taranaki.